Alright, so I wanted to make a video on finding balance in your life in regards to nutrition and, basically tracking macros, eating, following meal plans, eating out, enjoying life, and, reaching your goals. So basically, the reason for this video is basically because, I always say track your macros, fit fun foods into your diet, have good balance in terms of food sources, in terms of meal frequency, in terms of being social with food, while still, tracking your nutrient intake and making the right choices in terms of that based on your goal. And the question always comes up, what about if I go out to eat? What if I want to go and eat this? What if I'm going to a wedding? What if I'm going, what if my family are here on vacation and they want to go out for dinner and I don't know what's in the food and, things of that nature. And what I generally tell people is just guess or make a good guess of what might be in that food, and work around it. So if you know you're going to go out to eat, I would say plan those foods into that day. So if you know you're going to go out to eat tomorrow, and you know where it's going to be, look at the menu, figure out what you want to eat or what you plan to eat, and then work that into your diet or into your macros for the following day. So if a restaurant has steak and it's 250 grams or 300 or 400 grams, put that nutrient information into your MyFitnessPal, track it ahead of time, and then and whatever else comes with that meal, and then work around it. And yeah, you're guessing, but at least it's a good guess. Now, in terms of doing that, while it works and while it is a good idea, especially when you have very important goals in terms of fat loss and improving body composition and being happy and stuff like that, whilst it works and whilst it is the best approach in that situation, no one wants to track macros for the rest of their life. Of course, unless they're a bodybuilder or a fitness model, or they have an event, or they have a job that requires them to always be in certain condition, or whatever the case might be. But everyday people, general people, people who I work with on a daily basis, their goals are not really out of this world. Like, their goals are quite attainable if they put the work in. What I mean by that is they're not trying to be 4% body fat. They're not trying to, females aren't trying to be 10% body fat. They're not trying to walk around shredded all day every day because, one, they know that it's unhealthy, and number two, they just don't have the desire to do that. So what I want to talk about in this video is basically balance with nutrition. So I made a few notes on my iPad. So basically, the best way to set up your nutrition for long-term balance and happiness basically is to have a reasonable goal in terms of how much weight you are, or how you look in the mirror, or how your clothes fit. So by utilizing a weight goal, or how you look in the mirror, or measurements, I should like tape measurements, or how your clothes fit, are three good indicators of whether you are heading towards your goal or whether you're moving away from your goal. So if I have a set goal in terms of weight, body weight, scale weight, and I say I want to be 90 kilos, that's my goal, what I'll do is start off with a meal plan. So a meal plan is just going to have the foods to eat with the measurements to eat, which will equate to a certain amount of macronutrients and calories, and that will work me towards my goal. I'm going to follow a meal plan for 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, depending on how much I like it. And it's going to help me to know if I'm making progress in terms of heading towards my goal with scale weight, which means fat loss basically. And it's going to ensure that I know that the amount of calories that I'm consuming are effective, or the diet setup and structure is effective towards my goals. So meal plan is the first thing I'm going to start with. Let's just say I do that for 4 weeks. The next 4 weeks, what we want to do is start tracking macros. So start utilizing other foods. Use MyFitnessPal or Calorie King or any calorie counter or macronutrient counter, and start bringing in other foods that aren't listed on your nutritional plan. So the way I set out nutritional plans, they're going to have all the foods listed, and each food is going to outline the protein, carb, and fat content of that quantity of that food. So you can look at the foods and look at the nutrient information and get an understanding of what is in each food on that plan, but then you also want to be able to incorporate other foods. So I would say the first step would be to follow the meal plan 5 days out of 7 and 2 days out of the week. Start just tracking macros and using other foods. And what this will allow you to do basically is have a better understanding of nutrient content of foods that you like. And once you do that for a while, you can slowly move out of the meal plan, or go ahead and move out of it straight away, and just do 7 days of tracking macros, and just having different foods all the time, because you already know that the calorie amount or macronutrient goals are working based on the meal plan, and your weight progressively getting lighter or whatever your goal might be. And then 2, you're learning about nutrient content of foods and you're incorporating them into your macros and making sure that you have good balance in terms of food choices, and you're still heading towards your goal. So you're also learning basically learning how to look at foods and guess their weight, basically, which would be the next step. So after about 4 weeks of following a meal plan, another 4 weeks of tracking macros and having fun and just using all different foods and incorporating a wide source of whatever you want to eat, basically, and fitting fun foods into your diet and things of that nature, that's going to create good eating structure. So it's going to help you to understand that this much chocolate is going to be around this much protein, carbs and fats, and this much sweet potato, it's going to be about this much. So you can start looking at foods, looking at meal items, and say, yep, that looks about 40 grams of protein in that serve of chicken breast at a restaurant or whatever it might be, or this might be around this much. And you can slowly start to move away from tracking your macros and start heading towards the stage where you can just look at foods and kind of have a good, solid understanding of what you're putting into your body. And by doing that, you can still be within your goals, or within a range close to your goals in terms of calorie intake and macronutrient intake, because you've been following set macros for 8 weeks now. So your body is kind of getting accustomed to what it's getting in. It's getting a bit more comfortable with the calorie intake, and you've been measuring and tracking food, so you're getting a bit more comfortable with your confidence in terms of looking at foods and just kind of knowing what they contain. So from a meal plan to flexible dieting, what I've kind of touched on already now is you want to have a relaxed approach where you can just look at foods and be like, yep, that's about right, etc. Ideally, by that point, you would have reached your goal. So let's just say my goal was to get to 90, and I did that. From that point, what you want to do is not focus on staying at 90 kilos and sticking to those macros and things like that. You want to just create a weight range, a weight goal range. So basically, if I want to be 90, I'm going to stay within the range of 89 or 88 and 92. And what that allows me to do is, hey, if there's a wedding, I'm going to go to the wedding, I'm going to eat whatever I want. If friends want to be social, if the boys want to go out and have dinner, drinks, whatever, I'll go ahead and do that. Because I'm sitting around 90 kilos. If I see my weight starts to creep up to 91, 92, then I might revert back to my common sense, reasonable eating, looking at foods and kind of knowing what they are and not, adding extras. Or I might revert back to tracking macros a few days, which will kind of become a habit anyways. So you're going to want to do that all the time anyway. But you also want to just, have balance in your approach. So you don't want to be looking at your phone every single day, chucking in every single thing that you've eaten, and just being really OCD towards it all, because it's not ideal long term. So you kind of, just like I said, focus on staying within a weight range, staying within a range that your clothes feel how you want them to feel, or you're happy and you're confident in how you look in the mirror. And if you start to reach the upper limit of that weight range, just progressively move back into looking at foods, being a little bit more consistent, or tracking a few days, or just loosely tracking every day, and that works too. And if you're really struggling and you keep pushing past that 91, 92, 93 range, and you're trying to stay closer to 90 kilos, then yeah, go ahead and track every day, or go back to following a meal plan. or a new meal plan. Basically, it's really up to you. If you decide that you're no longer happy at 90 and you want to be 87, 86, 85, then that will require you to go back to a meal plan or go straight back to tracking your macros, which you'll probably be confident at doing at that stage. And make sure that those calories and macros are consistently getting you leaner or lighter on the scale, closer towards your weight goal. And then do the same thing, have a range of 85 to 87 or 88. And you want to continue to do that. And that's basically what I've done this year. I was around 99, 100 kilos in November, and I said I wanted to be, November last year, and I said I wanted to be 93 or 92 to 95 this whole year. That was kind of my goal, which would sit me at around 7% body fat on skin folds. So I did that. I got down to like 92, 93 for like quite a long time. Had a good time, went to Thailand, had a holiday with my wife, went to Las Vegas, went to a fitness conference there, went to weddings, went to birthday parties and things of that nature, and stayed within that range. And sometimes I would go way over what my assumed macros would be, and notice that my weight is pushing up closer to that 95 area or weight, body weight. So I would the next day go back to focus on eating good for like a couple of days and tracking macros and mixing food sources up and being a bit more consistent till I see that weight go back down to the 92, 93 area, and then I'd be a bit more relaxed. For the most part, tracking macros the whole way through, just because I like to do that. But I guess in my approach, having fun, eating over the macros, not being too concerned if I eat more fat or more carbs. My protein was always consistent, just because that's important to me. But yeah, just having a bit more flexibility and balance. And to be honest, like I haven't been food focused and stuff like that. I haven't been like staring at my phone and tracking, every single thing that I eat, because I'm within my range. Now, right now I'm 88, 89 kilos because I changed my goal from 92 to 95 to a lower range, and now I'm leaner, which is great. And I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm tracking macros. I might compete in some bodybuilding comps coming up. If I want to push past where I'm currently at in terms of body fat percentage and health and lifestyle and balance and things of that nature. But if I don't, I'm going to stay within that range of 89 to 91 or 88 to 91 and just fluctuate there and enjoy life. So, long video cut short, basically, set a meal plan, track macros, have fun in life, but be pretty close to your macros, so have a relaxed approach. Stop tracking macros, and like I said, just look at foods and just guess them. Like my wife doesn't really measure much at all. If anything, she just measures her oats and Nutella in the morning, and everything else is not really measured. But she hasn't gained any weight because she's consistently eating the same amount of food, just because her body's accustomed to eating that much. And she's happy with how she looks. So that's about it. So to all my clients who are worried about tracking macros every day and looking like an idiot, taking a food scale with them to restaurants or whatever it might be, or having their containers of food with them and stuff, it's unnecessary unless you're trying to be a bodybuilder or a fitness model, or you have an event that requires you to be a certain weight or body fat percentage or a certain body composition or look. Like for a photo shoot or something, it's unnecessary. So, enjoy life, but reach your goal before you start to have fun. So, track your macros and stuff until you get to your goal and create a weight range or a goal range. Then you can start to have fun and, be a bit more relaxed. But I would say keep tracking your macros. If you incorporate refeeds or cheat meals or whatever you want to call them, free meals, once or twice a week whilst reaching or heading towards your goal, that's fine too. But get to your goal, then have some fun, then create a weight range, then enjoy life. And that's pretty much how you attain and maintain a physique that you're happy with, whilst enjoying life, eating food, being social, and not feeling like you're tracking macros for the rest of your life. So that's about it. I hope you got something out of this video, and I will make some more soon.